joining me. We're going to start off in a comfortable seat. So, well, not really comfortable seat, we're going to be on the knees. If this doesn't feel comfortable for anyone, if you want to pop a towel or a pillow or something underneath the thighs, between the knees, then it might just lift you up a little bit more and just give you a little bit more comfort. And from where you are there, we're just going to place the hands over the knees, roll the shoulders down, and just gently let the eyes start to close. Just letting ourselves find our space on our mats today. Just starting to observe how your bodies are feeling. What sensations might be going on throughout them. Just allowing ourselves to find our breath. So we're looking for that inhale through the nose, exhaling it out through the nose. With each inhale, maybe allow the crown of the head to rise up that little bit taller. With every exhale, just maybe allowing ourselves to root into the ground a little bit deeper. Bottom ribs are softening down. Start to find that engagement through the abdominal muscles, through the back. Allowing the chest just to rise slightly. Just being mindful as we go through our practice today. So if something doesn't start to feel good, back it off. If your body feels like it can go a little bit further, then allow yourself to go there. And we're going to take 2 more breaths. Using your next exhale, just starting to let the left ear drop down towards the left shoulder. Bring that gentle stretch down through the right side of the neck. On an inhale, let the head come up to center. Exhale, dropping right ear down towards the right shoulder. Maybe noticing any difference between the 2 sides, not changing anything, just noticing, observing what's going on. On an inhale, let the head come up to center. Exhale, dropping the left ear down towards the left shoulder. Either keeping here or taking the arms behind the back of the body, grabbing left hand around the right wrist and just gently pulling down on that right side. Either keeping it here or starting to let your chin drop towards your left armpit, just finding a little bit of a deeper stretch. As you inhale, let yourself come up to center, releasing the hands. Exhale, dropping right ear down towards the right shoulder. Take the right hand around the left wrist, gently pulling down on that left side. And again, if you can, start to drop the chin down towards the right armpit, just feeling that stretch move. let your head come back up to center. Releasing the hands, interlace the hands in front of you. Have a little bend in the elbow, start to tuck the chin towards the chest. Just gently pushing those hands away. Using an inhale, taking the hands behind the back. Have the fingertips pointing down. From where you are, we're going to lift the chest, draw the elbows towards each other, opening through the front of the body, through the front of those shoulders. Just gently releasing, bringing the hands down in front, just working our way into a tabletop position. So hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are stacking underneath the hips. Just going through a few cat-cow stretches, breathing in, let the belly drop, lift the heart forwards. Breathing out, rounding into the spine, tucking the chin. Inhaling, let the belly drop, lift the heart through. Exhale to round into the spine. Just continuing with your own breath here. If you want to add a little bit extra, maybe start to draw circles through with the hips, just getting into the side of the body. Again, just observing how your back's feeling, how the shoulders are. Backing it off if you need to, making smaller movements. If you can start to make a little bit larger round, maybe go in there. Taking one more breath. And then using an inhale, bringing yourself to neutral. We're taking this into a puppy pose. So hips are stacked up over the knees. Start to send the hands forwards. Maybe you're letting the forehead relax down towards the ground. Keep active through the hands. So here, press the heels of the hands into the floor. Imagine you are rolling your mat, the floor away. Try not to just let the belly flop down. Think about lifting through the lower bellies a little bit more. Pelvic floors working. Taking one more breath here. Just bringing the body up slightly. Send the right hand to the floor. Keep it there. We're going to take the left arm, sweep it underneath the body, reaching it out towards the right hand side. So you're going to try and reach those left fingertips out as much as you can. Watch your hips. I know you can't see them, but I want you to think about making sure your left hip hasn't pulled itself forwards. So thinking about trying to square them off as much as you can. Right fingers might reach a little bit further forwards. You might even be able to start to walk those right hands over towards the top left corner. And again, just have a check in with the body. This time your right hip might have come forwards. Gently ease it back. Try and soften the face off. Keeping the jaw relaxed. One more breath here. Slowly walking that right hand back in. Press into the hand. Bring yourself up. Left hand's going to come to the floor. Right arm's going to sweep underneath, reaching out towards that left hand side. Again, just keep checking in with your hips. Maybe you're walking the left arm forwards, and again, maybe walking over towards the top right corner. Keep reaching those left fingertips out, taking one more breath. Gently walking that left hand back in, bringing the right hand to the floor. Have the hands underneath the shoulders, just taking one more cat-cow, breathing in, let the belly drop, lift the heart. Breathing out, rounding into the spine. We're going to work our way to downward facing dogs. Send the hands slightly forwards from the shoulders, tucking the toes under, bring the bum towards the heels, and then we're sending the hips up and back. And in this first downward facing dog, you might want to stay static. You might want to start to just pedal through the legs. Bending through one knee, bending into the other. Maybe just gently having a wiggle through the feet, getting to the sides of the ankles, sides of the calves. Get some clicks out.
Then just allowing the heels to settle. So feet hip width apart and parallel. Hands around shoulder width. We're going to start off by bending into the knees, sending the hips a little bit higher, trying to work the body nice and long. From there, if you can start to straighten the legs out without the top of the body moving, great, work it there. If when you start to straighten your legs, your shoulders begin to move forwards because the hamstrings are quite tight, you're going to keep that bend in the knees and just work there. Soften down through the tops of the shoulders. Make sure the neck's nice and heavy. Using an inhale, begin to walk the feet towards your hands. Go in as close to them as you can. Let the body fold over the legs. So keep that little bend in the knees here, holding on to opposite elbows. Just give yourself a gentle sway from side to side. Nod the head yes, shake the head no. Nice deep inhale. Exhale with a sigh. Releasing the hands to the floor and then just slowly start to roll up through the spine so one vertebrae stacks on top of the next. Just letting ourselves come up to a standing position. Looking to find our Tadasana, so big toes together, little gap between the heels. Any back issues, hip issues, just step the feet so they're hip width apart. Arms settle down by the side of the body. Just let the eyes close down. Find that breath, inhaling through the nose, exhaling it out through the nose. Breathing in, breathing out, blinking the eyes open. On an inhale, send the arms up overhead, maybe gaze follows thumbs. As you exhale, taking a forward fold, bringing the hands to the ground, bend your knees as much as you need. Halfway lift, so either onto the fingertips or hands to the shins, lengthen the body out. On an exhale, hands to the ground, we're stepping the feet into high plank position. Knees come down, then chest and chin, elbows hug to the body, slide onto the belly, just lift the chest up, baby cobra, so slight back extension. On your exhale, tuck the toes, send the bum towards the heels and then lift the hips up and back. Find that downward facing dog position. On your next inhale, look forwards between the hands, step your left foot through, drop the right knee to the floor, then bring the body up into low lunge. Press the right hip forwards and down. We're going to take the arms up and overhead, so left arm's going to come up and over right, holding on to opposite elbows. On an inhale, start to lift up through the chest. See if you can send those arms a little bit further back behind. Keep pressing that right hip forwards. Try and relax the tops of the shoulders. Using that steady inhale, steady exhale. One more breath here. As you exhale, release the hands, send the right hand to the floor on the inside of the left foot. Breathing in, send your left arm towards the sky, coming into our easy twist. And it might be you stay here, you might want to tuck the toes, that right foot, lift the back knee off the floor, making this slightly stronger. Either staying there or wrapping your left arm around the back of the body, attempting to find the hip crease of your right hip, rolling that shoulder back. Taking one more breath here. As you exhale, release that left hand to the floor. We're stepping that left foot into high plank position. Again, dropping the knees first, then chest and chin, elbows hug down. Releasing the body, just peel the chest up, baby cobra. Think about send the crown of the head forwards, maybe float the hands away from the floor, but keep the breath here. Exhale, hands to the ground, tuck the toes, push the bum towards the heels, and then we're lifting up and back into downward facing dogs. Coming forwards to the second side, so breathing in, right foot steps between the hands, left knee to the floor, bringing the body up, arms rise. This time, take in opposite arms up and overhead, lengthening through the chest as you breathe in, send the left hip forwards as you breathe out. If like me you're a rib flairer, we're trying to keep those ribs in, keeping that length through the back of the body. It might mean we don't feel like we go as far, but I want you to try and keep that engagement through the front of the body, lifting through the back. One more breath here. On an exhale, we're releasing the left hand to the ground on the inside of the right foot. Inhale, send the right arm high. Maybe again, staying where you are here, otherwise tucking the back toes, lifting the back knee off the floor, finding that expanse through the front of the body. Maybe you're sending that right arm around the back, trying to find the hip crease into your left hip, rolling that right shoulder back. Crown of the head still draws forwards. One more breath here. As you exhale, send that right hand to the floor. We're stepping into your plank position, either staying knees, chest, chins, or coming through full chaturanga. High plank to low plank. Into upward facing dog, tops of feet pressed down, lift the heart forwards. As you exhale, work the hips up and back, downward facing dogs. Just settling in here. We're going to ripple forwards, come into a high plank position. So roll the shoulders forwards over the wrists, nice long body. On an exhale, drop the knees to hover over the floor. Press the bum back towards the heels. And then we're sending the hips up and back. We're going to do that 2 more times. So inhale, ripple forwards to high plank. Knees hover. Press the bum towards the heels. And then lift the hips up. 1 more time. Ripple forwards, high plank. Knees hover. Press the bum. Keeping the knees hovering here. And then send the hips up and back. On your next inhale, look forwards, step it or float the feet forwards. Exhale to fold over the body. Inhale to bring the body up, arms rise overhead. As you exhale, taking a forward fold, hands to the floor, head to knees. Halfway lift, lengthen into the body. Exhale, stepping or floating your way back into plank position, either knees, chest, chins, or full chaturanga, that high plank to low plank. Coming, lifting forwards, upward facing dogs. Exhale to work the hips high, downward facing dogs. And from where you are, just stepping your feet 1 step closer towards the hands. Just shortening the downward facing dogs off. Again, if you need to have those bend in the knees, we're going to keep the bend there. Taking your left hand, bring it underneath the body. It's going to grab anywhere on the outside of your right leg. And then I want you to try and think about bringing that body underneath that right arm. Try and keep the breath here. Maybe holding there. If you want to, a little bit extra, you could start to bring the weight into that right side. Maybe even start to float your left foot away from the ground. It might come off just a millimetre. You might be able to send it up a little bit higher. Reaching all the way high. Keep the twist in the body. 1 more breath here. Slowly releasing that left foot to the ground. Releasing the left hand. Taking a breath. And then releasing right hand underneath the body. Grabbing anywhere on the outside of that left leg. The higher up, the kinder. The lower down, the more of a challenge. Try and bring your body then underneath that left side. Just work on feeling that stretch through that right shoulder. Keep pressing down through the left arm. Again, either staying there or working into a little bit more of a balance. Bringing the weight out of the right foot. Maybe start to hover the foot. You might even want to start to send it all the way up. Keeping length, keeping the balance. Holding for 1 more breath. And then we're releasing that right foot to the ground. Right hand to the floor. Step the feet back into that full downward facing dog. As you next inhale, we're looking up, stepping or float your way forwards. Exhale, fold the body over the legs. Coming into our chair pose, bend the knees, sweeping the arms, so hinging at the hips. Taking hold of opposite elbows. So again, we're going to take right arm up and over left to start with. Sink the bum back a little bit lower. Start to pick your right foot off the floor. Keep the chest open. Start to send that right leg towards the back, coming into a warrior two variation. So body's trying to square off towards this right hand side. Left knee's bent, right leg straight. See if you can open the body up a little bit more. Taking one more breath here, maybe sink a little bit lower. Then going to release the arms out. Have the palms of the hands up towards the ceiling just to let the shoulders relax a little bit deeper. Taking this into side angle pose. So either taking left forearm to left thigh, right arm reaches up and over. Otherwise, maybe taking those left hands down towards the inside of that left foot. If, like me, when you do that, it means your chest starts to roll forwards. We're going to keep it nice and high. If taking that right arm up and overhead doesn't feel great, just try and figure out another way of coming into it. You can either sweep the arm up and over. You might want to reach it forwards and swoop it round. That might just give you a little bit more of an opening through that shoulder. So just have a little play about. Figure out how best for you to get into this position. Taking one more breath here. We're going to wrap that right arm around the back of the body. Maybe you can start to grapple for the inside of that left thigh. Roll that right shoulder back. If you have got a bind and you wish to take it, might take that left arm underneath. Nice crack there. Maybe interlacing the fingers. And again, just trying to avoid chest coming forward. So we're thinking about lifting up through that right shoulder, open it out. Taking one more breath here. As you exhale, slowly releasing, bringing ourselves into a high crescent lunge. So just pivot onto the ball of that back foot, lifting the arms high. Taking that right arm up and over, left holding on to opposite elbows, squaring the hips, lifting through the heart. We're going to step back to our chair pose. So when you're ready, stepping your right foot forwards to meet your left, hinging at the hips. We'll take a little forward fold here, so releasing the arms, folding over the legs. Take a couple of moments here just to pedal out into those legs. Coming back into chair pose, breathing in, bend the knees, hinging at the hips. This time left arm's going to come up and over right, holding on to those opposite elbows. Try and let your chest lift up. Maybe sink the bums back a little bit further. Picking the left foot off the floor. Nice big step all the way back. Slow and controlled, working towards those warrior two legs. So right knee's bent, left leg straight. Draw that right knee out towards the right side. Maybe sink a little bit lower here. One more breath. Taking the arms out into warrior two with the palms turned up. Fingertips are reaching out. Softening through the tops of the shoulders. Side angle pose. So right forearm to right thigh, left arm reaches up and over. Again, if you've got the availability, maybe taking the right hand down. Figuring out how to take this left arm up and overhead. Right side of your rib cage is trying to turn it towards the sky. And you might well stay here, or you might start to take that left arm around the back of the body, trying to find the hip crease of your right thigh. Keep rolling that shoulder back. Again, if you have it on this side, you could take your right arm underneath the body. I can't do it, my arm does not like this. You might want to interlace the fingers. Just be mindful, as I say, one side can do this with, one side you might not be able to. Try not to force it. Taking one more breath here, maybe open the body out a little bit further. We're going to release, bring ourselves up into high crescent lunge. So pivot onto the ball of that back foot, lifting both arms up. We're going to take left arm up and over right, holding onto those opposite elbows. Lifting through the heart as you inhale, maybe exhale, sink a little bit deeper. This time, stepping up into chair pose, so left foot's going to meet the right, hinging at the hips. Exhale, releasing, forward fold. Inhale, come into halfway lift, lengthen the body. Exhale, step float, make your way back through to high planks, either chaturanga or knees, chest, shins. Come through to upward facing dog, lift the heart. And as you exhale, hips go high, downward facing dogs. On your next inhale, we're rippling forwards, come into that high plank position. We're going to lower down to the floor on a count of 10. If you need to drop the knees at any point, drop the knees down. Coming down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, last 2, and 1. Releasing all the way down. Just taking one hand on top of the other. Rest the forehead down. Just give the hips a little bit of a shake out. And then from where you are, just keeping the forehead down onto the mat, releasing the hands. Take the arms alongside the body. Have the palms turn to the floor. Feel an engagement through the abdominals, so a little lift. Think about lengthening through the back of the body, that little pelvic tilt. On an inhale, start to float the arms away from the ground, drawing the shoulders back. Maybe then think about trying to bring pinky fingers in towards one another. If this feels okay, you're going to start to peel the chest away. Forehead comes away from the ground, but keeping the neck in line with the rest of the body. Glutes are switched on, so make sure the bums are working. We're going to take 2 more breaths here. And then using an exhale, slowly releasing to the ground. Maybe again, just bringing one hand on top of the other, forehead down. Relaxing out. Place the hands underneath the shoulders. Just press back into a child's pose, so bringing the bum back towards the heels, stretching the body out. If you want to, dig the fingertips of the hands into the ground. Maybe just allowing your chest to release a little bit deeper. Using an inhale, gently walking the hands in. We're going to find that kneeling position once again. So bringing ourselves onto the bums. Relaxing the shoulders. Placing left hand over the heart, right hand over the stomach. Crown of the head reaching tall. Feeling that breath coming into the body. Breathing out. Softening down through the muscles. The face, the foreheads, the necks. Just gently allowing the hands to come into prayer at heart center. Thumbs gently pressing towards the middle of the breastbone. Let the chin drop down. Bowing our heads in gratitude for our bodies and for our practice today. Namaste.